Welcome to episode 6 of Universe 7's Dragon Ball podcast. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mason.
And today we're going to be talking about episode 6 of Dragon Ball Super, titled Don't Anger the Destroyer, a heart-pounding birthday party. And do you think that episode title really gave the...
No, not really.
Gave it any justice?
And it just doesn't in general. Anytime you've seen a title, so I'm over it. We'll tell you guys the title, but take it for a grain of salt for what it actually means for the episode.
Yeah.
For me, it was a pretty solid episode. I like Vegeta stuff whenever I can get it. There was also some Majin Buu stuff that I enjoy. So me personally, I like the content. I know, have a different opinion. Tell me a little bit why, I guess.
Well, I mean, we'll get to that after the recap, but yeah. I liked the episode, but I don't know. For as much that happened in the episode, I think they could have done a lot better. Yeah,
I mean, they kind of had to do a little storytelling with Vegeta and Beerus, like how they knew each other, though. I mean, it kind of had to be that way.
Yeah, we didn't... It was cool. I liked that scene, but I don't think we really needed it. But
all right, fair enough. I think to each their own. But
yeah, we'll get into that in the high-low section. But kind of let's do a week in review here. We had a really good week when it came to downloads for the show.
Yeah, we sure did. First week we were almost at 300 downloads, which is pretty spectacular. Honestly, we didn't ever think that.
It's definitely beyond any of our expectations, whether it's me, you, or anybody who knows us that we're doing the show.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a real blessing. We really do appreciate you guys listening. Shout out to Egypt and the Netherlands and anywhere else that's listening outside of Illinois, USA.
Yeah.
It's really cool of you guys to listen. So
thank you so much. We really couldn't do any of this without you guys.
Yeah.
Without you guys listening, it would just be two idiots talking in a room into a microphone.
Which it is, but you guys get to listen to us too for some reason.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate it. Share the show with your friends. Share it on social media. And we'll quit blabbing about that until the end of the show. But on to some news. We didn't have a ton in the news this week.
No. We got a new chapter of Dragon Ball Super manga, chapter 18, which was translated by Viz, and that is out there for you guys to read. We'll link a description in
the show notes.
Yeah. I haven't read this chapter personally, but up to this point, I think the manga is going extremely well, and I do enjoy reading it.
Yeah, the manga is really good. For those of you who haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. It isn't just a retelling of Dragon Ball Super. They are a little bit behind where the show is right now in Japan, but they do kind of take their own... They turn right when the show turns left. So
exactly. It's covers
almost
the same arcs, but it's...
Well, it's almost like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is obviously on AMC, and they adapted that from the graphic novel, but they're the same... They're in the same universe, but they kind of...
Story.
Yeah, like I said, when the show turns right, the manga goes left, and vice versa. So for those of you who haven't checked it out, like I said, we'll leave a link in the show notes. Read it. Let us know what you think.
Right.
Other than that, really, there isn't anything in the news.
No.
The only thing we're really waiting on is the second DLC pack for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 to drop, and that still hasn't happened. We don't have any concrete information.
Were you expecting it to drop?
I mean, I'm expecting it to drop this month,
Gotcha.
But I was hoping that we'd have more gameplay video and a rough idea of when it's going to come out. So,
no.
Other than that, nothing really happened in the news other than ratings. Super still killing it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Gives us something to talk about every Sunday. But yeah, besides that, that's it, guys. We're going to kind of jump into the recap here pretty quickly. So let's just jump at it.
Yeah. Goku episode opens with Goku on King Kai's planet. King Kai has just given him a sensu bean, and he is desperately trying to keep Goku from leaving the planet to chase after Beerus.
Yeah, Goku's kind of out of his mind at this point. Like, he already knows how strong Beerus is, so it's just it's baffling to see him want to get back to
Is it, though?
He was shook the last episode. He was pretty shook.
He wanted to get to the Earth to protect it.
Which is fun. But, like, King Kai's not even letting him do that. Honestly,
because he knows that Goku doesn't stand a chance, but that's never stopped Goku before.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'm surprised. He's very strong, obviously, and Goku.
Yeah, he took him out in 2 blows.
So, that's pretty much it with that. He's just kind of losing his mind while King Kai's trying to hold him in containment to not let him go back to the planet.
Yeah, and he convinces him to stay for for the 2 or 3 minutes that we see Goku this episode,
Yeah.
Kinkai actually convinces him to kind of just sit down and relax, and that lasts a whole 10 seconds before Goku starts going nuts again.
He's got the attention span of a puppy golden retriever.
Yes, he does. So from there, we jump onto the cruise ship, where we're going to spend the rest of the episode, actually. Bulma is talking to Android 18, Chi-Chi, and I think someone else. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe Videl. She says, I love Vegeta, but he does drive me up a wall sometimes. So she's still upset that Vegeta showed up just to sulk around on the
and insult Yamcha. Which is good. I'm into it.
Yeah. While that's happening, we see Roshi kind of creeping around, and I'm pretty
He's
sure
about to like
poke her in the boob.
Poke her boob, which is weird. Not sure exactly why, but Bulma turns around and calls him a creep and tells him to get the hell away from her. But I think that's just classic Master Roshi.
And she smacks the crap out of him.
It's pretty great.
And they kind of have a cool cut right there when Bulma goes to punch Master Roshi. As soon as her punch would have hit, we actually cut to Vegeta punching a wall on the cruise ship because he is just freaking out.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be? He just heard that some guy defeated Goku in 2 blows. And that guy's coming directly to where they're at.
Right. I thought that was cool because we don't get Vegeta acknowledging just how strong Goku is very often.
Yeah, actually, he's pretty against it if you haven't seen the series before. It takes him until Majin Buu, like, with the Super Saiyan 3 battle, for him to actually admit that Goku's better than him.
I mean, I can't remember. This might make me seem like a crappy fan, but I can't remember if that happened in the manga or not. I don't know if that was something that they just stuck in the anime.
That might have, honestly.
Because it's very out of character for him to do.
It is, but it was a pretty big moment for him. Honestly,
yeah, it was, but like I said, it just doesn't seem.
It doesn't sit right. It's not too character.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a huge character moment that came completely out of nowhere because there was no build up to that moment at all.
Well, nobody was expecting Super at that point either, so it was just kind of a nod to him before the series ended. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At that point, we were hitting the end of Z and all that kind of stuff. So
just
why not give Vegeta a good
just some closure.
Exactly. Closure to his and Goku's arc, if you would. So Vegeta just punched the edge of the ship. He's trying to regain his composure, really, and he keeps thinking of the name Beerus and wondering why exactly he knows that name. And right in that moment, Beerus and Whis show up on the ship and confront him.
Yeah, it's a really strange though when it happens. He says, does he say Prince Vegeta? And then he turns around and he's no one in sight.
Right.
And he obviously can't sense this energy because you can't sense the energy of Vegeta.
Yeah, and he thinks he's losing it.
He's like, "Am I losing my damn mind?" And then
right at that moment,
Beerus and Whis are there already.
Right there, and I love this moment. Vegeta asks Beerus, "Who the hell are you?" And when he does that, Beerus is like, I don't even need to tell you because you're going to be dead soon anyway.
So Vegeta, being the hothead kind of guy he is, doesn't want to be insulted, rushes Beerus. The second that happens, something Beerus does, it doesn't really show, it just kind of puts him into a body freeze and he
paralyzes him.
And face plants into the ground. Yeah. At that moment, though, it goes to a really cool scene where it goes from Vegeta's eyes into the reflection of Beerus's eyes, and Beerus has Vegeta in the reflection. It's really confusing, but it's a good transition into a memory for Vegeta.
There's a gif of it on our Twitter if you guys want to know what we're talking about, but in that moment, Vegeta remembers exactly who Beerus is, and we actually get a really cool flashback of Vegeta as a child.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vegeta as a child since literally the Frieza arc of Dragon Ball Z. So it was really cool to see, just like I said earlier, character development for Vegeta even more than we already have. I'm really shocked that he forgot it, honestly, considering it seems to be such a big moment in his life, seeing his father humiliated, the King of Saiyans. Yeah,
so we jump back into that flashback, and Beerus has King Vegeta on the ground and his foot on his head.
Yeah.
And we're left there wondering what the heck is going on. Vegeta, as a child with this stupid little cape, is hiding behind some rocks, spying on Beerus, and it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, he's real sinister in this scene. He's using him as a footrest, and man, King Vegeta's terrified too. And he's hardly terrified of Frieza. Like, at the end, he thinks he could take Frieza.
And this is all over a pillow.
The most comfortable pillow
in the universe.
In the universe, yeah, is what he sent King Vegeta to do. And King Vegeta, being the Saiyan scum he is, just like the Saiyans used to be, he found it and he tried to keep it for himself and trick Beerus and give him the second most comfortable pillow in the universe, which isn't good enough, obviously.
Yeah, and he's not having any of that. He slams his face into the ground, which enrages Kid Vegeta.
And he's like, how dare you do that to the King of Saiyans? Rushes him, and just like that scene earlier, Beerus does that same exact body paralyzation to him, and he face plants into the ground.
Yep. And that's our kind of bookend for that, which shows us how exactly Vegeta remembered, because he got that same technique used on him as a kid.
Right.
So we jump back to the present, and they're just Whis. I mean, Whis is just an all-around good dude. He's just kind of just standing there observing.
Yeah, he
Beerus is looking down on Vegeta like he's just
trash,
absolute trash. And in that moment, Bulma comes around the corner and sees Vegeta on the ground and has a really, really great quick moment of dialogue where she just says, "You aren't seriously doing push-ups, are you?" Because Vegeta's on the ground struggling to get up.
And she looks so bored and grossed out by the situation. And then, yeah, he struggles to get up, where Bulma's like, that's not right. So she starts to worry a little bit, and she says, "Are you okay, Vegeta?" And then Vegeta just screams at her to get away. And then after that, Beerus is like, "Hey, that's not how you talk to women, Prince Vegeta, is it?" But yeah, from there, Bulma just kind of goes up to Whis and Beerus introduces them as
like acquaintances of Vegeta.
They were passing
not
by.
Friends, just acquaintances. And then Bulma is the one who comes around and says, "Huh, I didn't know you had any friends, Vegeta."
Yeah, for real. But yeah, from there she's just like, "Hey, come on over we're having a party."
We're having a little party.
But not such a little party, I guess, if you rent out a giant ship. But
yeah, so Bulma invites them over to the party, so she'll introduce them to everyone. And just like that, Vegeta is left on the ground while Bulma is escorting Whis and Beerus to the main area of the party. And she has them up on like this platform and is introducing them to everyone.
She goes, "Listen up, everybody." She seems real bitchy for a minute, which is
this is Beerus
Bulma.
and Whis, and they're friends with Vegeta, and they're going to be here for the party, so everybody be nice.
They're the nicest people ever, because they applaud for this person, which is a friend of Vegeta, which none of them like. So that's kind of strange.
And the whole time, Whis, not Beerus or Whis, Vegeta is watching them just terrified. He's kind of surveying the situation. He looks at Piccolo. And then I think it was
Majin Buu.
Yeah, the Majin Buu, thinking, okay, if anybody's going to screw this up, it's going to be one of those two. Yeah. And, of course, we cut to Yamcha introducing himself to Beerus, and he kind of just pulls the classic scumbag Yamcha.
I hate this guy.
"Hey, I know there's a lot of Saiyans and aliens around here, but I'm an old-timer, and don't tell this to anybody because they might get a little nervous about it, but I'm kind of one of the best martial artists on this boat," which could not be farther from the truth.
Yeah, and then he's like, "So I kind of get why you're nervous." And then he's like, "But don't worry, bro. We're not going to start a fight here." And then he slaps him on the back.
Hard.
And you could see Beerus get visibly angry until Krillin shows up with a party tray takoyaki, whatever that means. It has octopus in it, except it's takoyaki roulette. So one of the balls has wasabi in it. And he invites Beerus to play first.
Yeah, and Vegeta comes screaming out from where he's hiding, like, "Absolutely not.
Hell no."
He doesn't say this, but essentially he's like, "I'm not going to risk Lord Beerus eating wasabi and then blowing up the entire planet because of it."
Yeah, and he would. He sure would.
Krillin calls Vegeta a party pooper, which Beerus obviously agrees to. Like, "Yes, Vegeta, why would you poop this party?"
His voice is great, man. The voice actor does.
Jason Douglas kills it as Beerus. Always has. Hasn't showed any signs of slowing down at all. So after that, Vegeta's like, "Okay, you're kind of talking me down now, so I'm just going to be the little lapdog like my dad was."
Man, it's crazy to see Vegeta be that way, though. Like, he was hiding behind bushes before. You've never seen Vegeta that way, even with Frieza, when he was very clearly overpowered by Frieza.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
Well, it just shows just how terrifying Beerus is, even if he hasn't really showed a lot of his power yet.
Yeah, he's visibly scared, and that doesn't happen to Vegeta a whole lot.
Yep. So Krillin gives Beerus one of the balls, and Beerus eats it, and looks like he got the wasabi one. Like, he is shaking. It looks like he's about to explode. It looks like he's about to explode. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you get your classic Beerus. Oh, my God, it's so good. We try it.
It's good. Thank God he didn't get it, because that would be the end of Earth, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, from there, everybody tries to take one. Goten takes one. Trunks takes one.
And Trunks is actually disappointed he didn't get the wasabi
He's
one.
a psychopath. Have you ever had wasabi?
Never.
People? That stuff is spicy.
Nope. Yeah. I only eat Flanagan's Flame hot sauce, a proud sponsor of this show.
If you say so.
But who ends up with the wasabi?
Krillin goes up to Vegeta, and he's like, hey man, just relax. Everybody likes a little fun every once in a while. Eats that one, and of course,
it's the wasabi one, because
so everybody hates Krillin, and we get another Krillin-owned count. Thank you.
Yeah, Team 4-Star, if you guys ever get to Super in 25 years, that you better bring that owned count back and add like 40 of them just for that one scene, because Krillin just gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, from there, we jump to
my least favorite scene of the episode. The peel-off gang by the pool.
Yeah.
I don't know why they were there.
There's no point to this scene.
There isn't. They're just putting them there to remind us that the peel-off gang exists for some reason. And
get used
I know we went into it 2 weeks ago.
Get used to them. They're going to be there until, spoiler alert, up until we are currently in episode 78.
So for those of you who are on Team Nick here and hate the peel-off gang with the rage of 1,000 suns, unfortunately, that fire is going to burn for a long time. From there, we go to the deck of the cruise ship again. Mm-hmm. Goten and Trunks are having like a stealth water gun fight.
Yeah, and this just shows when this happens. So Goten is like stealthily jumping behind, trying to catch Trunks off guard, and Trunks from the top deck
snipes him.
Yeah, pretty much snipes him, gets him soaked. Which goes to show how much they still hate Goten, because he can never get the jump on Trunks.
Goten never wins.
No, which is really sad. I hate it. I want Goten to get his sometime.
He will. I think he will eventually.
I don't know, man.
He's the son of Goku.
But I think they're just doing some sort of counterbalance, because Goku's always been better than Vegeta, so he has to have something.
That's true. They're fighting, and Whis and Beerus are kind of watching them, and they note that these two are only half Saiyans, and they barely look like they're out of their training pants. Yeah. So they definitely don't know anything about the Super Saiyan God. Mm-hmm. And Whis looking at Gohan, which is funny because Gohan has the most potential out of any of them, including Goku and Vegeta. He takes one look at Gohan and says, and this other Saiyan here doesn't seem like the fighting type, which
is very true. But man, it's really upsetting that Gohan... I mean, I don't mind his character development. It's just sad that we don't get to see the person with the most fighting potential become that person.
Yeah. It's sad, but yeah, they have their reasons apparently.
We'll see. I think they have a bigger arc for him.
I hope so.
At some point in time, I really do.
I hope so. So they're looking at them. They have already asked Vegeta earlier about the Super Saiyan God. He doesn't have any idea, so Beerus laments that the trail for the Super Saiyan God has gone cold again. Mm-hmm. And he's starting to get a little upset, not really frustrated.
Just kind of like downtrodden.
Yeah, when Vegeta flies out with more takoyaki for Beerus.
A pyramid of takoyaki for you, my grace. And he's bowed, he's got the plate over his head's down. It's a real gross, grovelly scene for Vegeta. It's kind of disgusting.
I like it. For as much crap as Vegeta's given people under him
for
the last 30 years of his life, it's about time somebody did that to him.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. But I don't know. I love Vegeta, man. So I don't care. I want that guy to keep doing what he does best.
So they're about to eat more, and Whis kind of is like, we already had a bunch of this, and Beerus agrees, like, yeah, I'm getting a little full anyway. Maybe we should just go home and take a nap. And Vegeta silently agrees. In his head, he's just like, yeah, go home and take a nap, you monster.
Yeah.
And when he says that, Beerus interrupts and asks him, hey, that Saiyan on King Kai's planet, what was his name? And Whis, obviously, Whis the one who remembers everything. I believe it was Goku. Oh, of course, yes, that's right. What is your relationship with that Saiyan? And we get the answer that I was not expecting at this point in the show.
Called him his enemy.
Yeah, he said, oh, Kakarot, he's my enemy,
But we have a truce.
truce.
Which you say.
That doesn't seem like the case at all. I mean, they raised their kids together, and
I don't know. Like, obviously, you still have some pent up rage against him, but
I didn't think there was pent up rage. I think it's just more. I consider
jealousy.
it more a rivalry than them being true enemies.
Yeah, and at that point, Beerus is like, "Man, a truce. You say and sure have changed a lot since the time before your planet blew up. You're gutless." And then you can see Vegeta being like visibly angry, and I think this is exactly where he kind of like. I think they did a good job of tying up where where he gave Goku his props to this point, where this is the point where he's like, shit, I need to be stronger than this guy again.
Yeah.
When he called him gutless.
No, not quite, because when in episode 2, he's already thinking about he needs to get stronger than Kakarot.
Yeah, but I think this is really the tipping point where he's just like, Truce, like, what kind of like coward are you, essentially?
Yeah, where you're allowing gutless.
Yeah, where you're allowing your enemy to live.
Right. Right when that happens, Beerus gets destroyed with a water gun.
Thanks, Trunks.
Yep, and it doesn't explicitly show who shot the water gun, but our money is on Trunks because
he's an asshole.
Yeah, Trunks is a little prick. They are apologizing profusely. Vegeta is in his head thinking, like, what have you two Rugrats done?
Yeah, because he knows Beerus is going to be pissed.
Oh, and
he is.
Yeah, he's just shaking, and Whis is just, are you angry, my lord? Do I look angry, Whis?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. No, I'm not angry. I'm furious. And he flies up into the air, and he just starts shaking, and his aura's kicking in.
His aura's kick-ass, by the way. That purple aura is sick. Mm-hmm. I love it.
And he is getting ready to destroy the Earth when Vegeta just screams at the top of his lungs, jumps into the ocean, which distracts Beerus and Whis. Like, what on earth is going on here?
Beerus thinks he lost his damn mind, which I'm sure he did at this point.
Yeah, and Vegeta eventually comes out of the water holding a giant octopus, just like the one in episode 2.
And he's got a giant grudge against Octopus.
Yes, he did say he'll eat
your entire race.
Mm-hmm. He throws the octopus into the air, shoots its tentacle off, and he flies down to the ship, ties a headband, puts on an apron, and starts cooking the octopus for Beerus and Whis. And he says, prepare for the most delicious and fluffiest octopus you've ever tasted. And that kind of puts Beerus at ease again. He doesn't truly calm his anger, but Beerus just thinks it's hilarious that the Prince of all Saiyans is acting like a jester to him.
It's really funny to see. I like the change of this as opposed to the song he did in Battle of Gods, because that was super cringy. I hated watching it. I had to look away when I was watching.
Your Vegeta fanboyism hurt there.
I was so sad, but this was a lot better. I think it was possibly even more humbling, and it wasn't
as cringy.
Yeah, it was in better fashion.
Yeah, so they're watching Vegeta cook, and Whis asks Beerus, well, I know we've kind of had our fill of appetizers. How would you like to try some dessert? I've heard of this thing called pudding that seems to be really delightful.
It's got a nice velvety texture.
Yeah, and Beerus, obviously, his interest is piqued, and they go to try and find pudding, and the pudding vendor informs him that he is all out. And who has all the pudding? None other than Majin Buu.
Because he's
fat.
Yeah, he likes food, and he's also very dumb.
Yes, he is. So Beerus and Whis walk up to Buu and Mr. Satan, who's obviously Boo's babysitter.
Pretty much, yeah. He's his master.
They walk up, and very, very politely, Whis asks, excuse me, good sir, would you be able to share some of that pudding? The pudding vendor has informed us that he is all out of it, and you seem to have
a plethora.
A plethora of pudding there. And Boo's, no.
No, before that, Mr. Satan.
Well, Mr. Satan. Again, Mr. Satan's like, oh yeah, of course. Go have at it, brother. Good old Hulk Hogan.
I still love it.
But Buu is not having any of it.
No,
he says no, and then Whis is still very polite about it. He goes, well, I don't think you understand. We're across the universe, and we might not be on this planet for another couple millennia or centuries.
And your civilization might not even be around by then.
Yes, so you can understand why it's so important that we try this pudding now.
And then
He's being very, very rational and polite about it.
And then Boo used his giant tongue and licked every single
one of them, which
you can see the
shocks
saliva.
Beerus.
You can see the saliva, and it's real gross. I wouldn't want that either.
So Beerus is shocked, and that's not what sets him over the edge just yet, but he's almost there.
Boo says, Boo is the strongest. Boo gets all the pudding.
He gets what he wants because he's the strongest, exactly. And that is what sets Beerus over the edge. Boo gets up and he starts trying to punch Beerus, and obviously he's having even less luck than Goku did.
He was literally punching him in the face, and it didn't phase him.
Yeah, he's not blocking any of them.
He didn't even try to move because he knew it wouldn't affect him in the slightest.
Well, Beerus is just standing there, and he catches Boo's fists, and he's like, I'm a pretty flexible deity, but when you don't give me the respect and reverence that a destroyer deserves, that's when we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, and he's like spinning him around by his little like penis thing on top of him.
Well, he grabs him by his fist and spins him around and throws him in the air.
Yeah.
And then he catches him by his antenna.
Yeah, and he starts spinning him there, and he almost like destroys him doing that. You can see like
he's all pink at that point, like he's trying to regenerate.
Yeah, which is crazy just by spinning him around at such a high velocity.
Goku at Super Saiyan 3 never came close to doing that when he was doing that to him.
No way. So yeah, he throws him, shoots a ki blast at him. Any normal person,
gone.
They're wiped out.
He knocks Boo into the ocean. And while this is happening, Whis is standing on the ship, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I better eat quickly." Whis knows some crap's about to go down, but the food here is really good, so I'm gonna get it while I can. And while this is happening, everybody is just staring.
Like, what the hell is going on?
They're terrified.
Yeah,
because they can tell. Even though you can't feel the energy of a god, they know something is up.
He owned Boo, man, and Boo is their toughest opponent.
No one does that. And while all this is happening, Vegeta is just terrified.
Yeah.
He's standing on the main deck of the ship, staring up into the sky.
He's pretty much accepted defeat and the complete extinction of his planet.
Yeah, Beerus shoots Boo into the ocean and just turns and starts staring at Vegeta. And you hear a little inner monologue of Vegeta just saying, "It's over. The planet, all of our lives, we're done.
We're through."
And that is the episode.
Like Nick said before, it wasn't real. It was long. It was long on a lot of the same subjects that we didn't need to hit.
I agree.
I liked it personally because I'm a Vegeta fanboy, but like I do agree with that. Like there could have been a lot more content in this episode if they really wanted to put it into it.
Yeah.
And then that would speed the arc along, and then we would get to where we need to go faster.
Yeah, I think these first 6 episodes, we could have cut them in half, and we could have been where we are now in 3 episodes.
I think so as well. But the first 3 were fine, or the first 3 were really good. I did like the backstory in those, like we said before.
Yeah, I don't think we needed an entire episode of Vegeta on a trip, though.
No.
You could have cut episodes 1 and 2 and put them together.
Yeah, and 4 and 5, no, 5 and 6 you could have put together as well, honestly.
Between you could have the fight and the party.
Yeah, you could have done that fight in 10 minutes, and then the rest of the episode could have been this episode.
Yeah, I agree. So from now we're going to go into our high-low, which is where we discuss what we liked and what we didn't like about the episode. What was your high? What did you like about the episode?
My high in the episode was seeing the flashback with Vegeta and the whole father situation. I thought that added a lot of depth to him, just in a vague sense, just seeing how his pride is so easily hurt, and like not even him, just the pride of his race, because it always just seems to be his pride.
It's about the Saiyans.
Yeah, it just seems to be his pride a lot of the time because he's one of the last ones. But he's like, "How dare you do this to the king of Saiyans?" Mm-hmm. Like it's about his blood and what it means to him, his honor almost.
He's been like that ever since the beginning in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like when he fought Goku, the reason he couldn't understand why he got defeated was because he was a Saiyan elite and he got beat by a low class warrior. It all had to do with being royalty and having that bloodline. Yeah.
So that was cool. I like seeing anything with backstory. A lot of the time it just gives us something we haven't seen before and adds more to the character. Another high, I'm always gonna like Mr. Satan scenes. Like that's it.
Hey brother.
There wasn't a lot besides that I particularly enjoyed. I did like the Yamcha bit. Like as terrible and cringy as it is, I think it's still funny to keep him like be the same idiot person he is.
Yeah. And there was a moment that we didn't get to in the recap where Bulma is introducing Beerus to Yamcha, and she goes, "This is my old friend Yamcha."
Yeah. Oh gosh, just everything about Yamcha is
sad.
It's just so sad, man. That guy has the worst life out of any of them. That guy doesn't get anything he wants ever.
He has poor.
That cat likes food.
Yeah. Any other highs?
No, that's gonna be it on that.
What about your lows?
My lows. A low for the episode, I'd have to say, I don't like that Goten always gets the short end of the stick.
True.
Like, even if it's such like a minor thing where like it's him getting shot with a water gun, Trunks is just always ahead of him, which is sad because I like Goten more than Trunks. I think Trunks is like an entitled brat.
Because he is.
Yeah, he really is. Another low. I don't really have a ton. Like the peel-off gang's always going to be a low. I'm not a big fan. And that's pretty much it for me. I don't have anything. Everything else was just kind of like mediocre. Nothing really stood out to me besides that. It was just a lot of filler.
Yeah.
So how about you? What's a high for you?
My highs were the episode didn't have a ton of Goku, but it didn't suffer because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
I know we already had an episode that was completely Goku absent in the in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Goku's in it at all. If he was, it was even less than he was in this episode. And I think we needed a little more. But this episode in particular didn't really suffer from it.
Yeah, we had a lot more characters to go off of as well. It wasn't just Vegeta, Bulma, and Trunks.
True.
So.
Another high was Vegeta humiliating himself for the sake of the Earth.
Man, seeing that.
Which I never thought we would get to that point. I know Vegeta considers himself now a Saiyan that lives on Earth. But for him to stoop to that level for the sake of saving that planet, the same planet that he wanted to come to and destroy back in Dragon Ball Z, blows my mind.
Yeah, he's a
and that kind of goes back to what we said about character development.
Yeah.
And my third and final high for the episode is the King Vegeta flashback. We don't get a ton of flashbacks in Dragon Ball in general, so anytime we get them and they execute it well, I consider it a plus.
Yeah.
My lows, wasting a part of a scene on the Peel-Off Gang.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was only probably 30 seconds to a minute, but that's
a minute
30
more
seconds
content.
to a minute where we could have spent with Piccolo or Gohan or
really-
anybody we actually care about.
Yeah, I'm really bummed we haven't gotten anything more with Piccolo so far.
Yeah, we've gotten the one scene, I believe,
With Gohan and him.
Yeah,
That's
of the picture from the wedding.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's nothing.
I like Piccolo a lot. I think he adds a lot to any scene he's in. He's just a really charismatic character.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of a bummer not to see him in 6 full episodes, really.
Yeah, and we've gotten more dialogue from King Pilaf, Manchu than Piccolo.
And like other people that have been such a big part of Dragon Ball Z, this is where I think it starts to it wants to pull from Dragon Ball more than Dragon Ball Z, where it's not all action all the time. Where the Pilaf game was a big part of it, and I think it just brings back that nostalgia aspect of Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super.
I agree. What would you rate the episode?
Like I said, I enjoyed it fine enough. I'd give it a 7. I didn't think it was too bad.
Okay, I'd agree with that. I'd give it a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. So we're definitely higher on this episode than we were on last week's, and last week's was full of action.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's more about the story now than it is about the action's always going to be great, obviously, but if you don't have a good story, then you're not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to enjoy the series unless you're 8 years old and don't know any better, and you just want to see fighting. Yeah,
so overall, pretty solid episode. Next week, it looks like we're going to get some sort of, I don't know, I want to call it a confrontation between Beerus and Vegeta, because as of right now, Vegeta's just crapping his pants.
He's scared out of his
mind. It doesn't look like he's ready to fight right now, so we're going to get something next week, because it left off in a very sinister note.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for the dubbed episode of Super. Before we get into the spoiler section, we want to take a moment to thank our not sponsor, Papa John's. If you go to www.papajohns.com and enter the promo code 25OFF, you will get 25% off of your online order. When you do that, make sure to not mention the Universe 7 Dragon Ball podcast, because they will have no idea what you're talking about.
But if you do want to put in your comments on your pizza order or whatever you do, just be like, hey,
listen to this podcast.
Yeah, be like, hey, Nick and Mason do this cool thing. You're welcome for the business.
Yeah, thanks for the pizza.
Yeah.
So, we're about to get into the spoiler section, not sponsored by Papa John's. Okay, we are back. We're going to be talking about episode 78 of Dragon Ball Super. The title is The Gods of Every Universe in Shock. Losers Erased in the Tournament of Power. And we're not going to go through a full recap of this. We're just going to kind of give our thoughts and what we thought of the episode and any predictions going forward. So, take it away.
We start off pretty straight, like just kind of where we left off last week. It was a lot of the priest just talking, saying what's going on with the rules, and he made a pretty shocking revelation to Goku just because he's Zeno's friend, that the losers of each universe that loses in this tournament is going to be destroyed. And Goku is pretty...
Everybody's shocked.
And Goku is the least shocked, even though it's his fault.
I mean, he was shaken, but I agree with you that he doesn't really feel like he's going to take a ton of responsibility for bringing this on all the other universes.
But it's all him. Like, this is all his fault. It really is at the end of the day. And he just
he was warned. Yeah, he didn't listen.
And then Beerus is like, hey man, you need to take responsibility. And he's like, responsibility with a question mark, like, why would I take responsibility for this? And then he slaps his face and he's like, fine, I'll just win. But doesn't seem to care what happens to any of the other 92% of the population of all the universes, because they're all going to be destroyed except for his.
Well, in my mind, I feel like, well, I'm a Goku fanboy, so I tried to think of any way to make this okay.
I guess, man.
But in my mind, I'm thinking that Goku already has a plan.
How can he though? I mean,
because
it does say that the winner gets the Super
Dragon Balls.
But how do we know that it can bring back all universes?
Because they're Super Dragon Balls and they're super.
But
I mean, it brought back a planet. If the regular Dragon Balls, Earth Dragon Balls, which are like offshoots of the Namekian Dragon Balls, can bring back an entire planet and all that kind of stuff. Why can't the Super Dragon Balls, when the Namekian Dragon Balls, which are more powerful, were just scraped off of the side of it?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I was kind of thinking there might be like a little weird plot twist, because it is connection between 6 and 7 universe. What if when one of those universes are destroyed, the Super Dragon Ball cease to exist?
But they already, it could be a plot twist. I don't think they would have done that though, when they already went through the trouble of gathering the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, but they don't know every single thing about the Dragon Balls.
I think they would. Grand Priest and Xeno-sama?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Whis had no idea about him though.
Did he?
No, not Whis. Beerus didn't have
a single clue. I think Whis would have, but Whis stays pretty neutral in everything. He has to stay neutral. He's an angel.
Right.
So, Goku is shocked at the revelation that Xeno is going to destroy all the universes not destroy, just erase, which sounds even more terrifying.
Supreme Kai is super sad too, by the way.
Well, him and Beerus, from what it sounds like, they won't be affected by this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He said if Universe 7 gets destroyed, I won't be able to look at any of creation, which means the gods will still be alive, which is good news for...
Well, that gets rid of my theory about Champa getting destroyed and no matter what, Beerus loses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a good surprise.
Yeah, you're not wrong, especially for Whis. Like, he would lose all of his brothers and sisters, because I'm assuming all those angels are...
related to the Grand Priest, the Daishinkan.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so they explain the tournament rules, but they also say that they want to have a mini tournament. I think it was called the Zen exhibition match or something like that.
Exactly that.
And it was going to be 3-on-3, one at a time. Universe 7, which is our universe, the universe of our podcast.
Yep.
And they're going to be taking on 3 members of Universe 9, which we haven't seen anything of yet.
Yeah.
So they tell Goku, this is your Beerus tells Goku, this is your responsibility. You go find a team. People. Find 3 people for this tournament, and then you go find 10 for the actual Tournament of Power.
Which makes sense. Now that we see the team that's put together, the 10, makes sense, because obviously Beerus didn't put together this team.
Right.
If he did, it would have been
people from
Krillin and Master Roshi wouldn't be
universe.
on it. at the end of the day. They just wouldn't.
Yeah. I still don't know why he didn't pick Goten or Trunks, but
it's baffling to me. We kind of get there's no age, like there's no limits of the people that.
Yeah, the rules
fight.
for the tournament are there's no ring outs, and essentially you fight until you either give up or you can't continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes him seem soft because
there's gonna be some sort of reason
Gohan
why.
100% would have been made to fight when he was 9 years old.
Yeah, but I don't think Trunks and Goten have that same potential in them that Gohan did.
Yeah, if Trunks is anything like his future self, though, he does.
Yeah, but he isn't.
Yeah, that's true. He just doesn't have to face that heartache, which kind of gives him
shaped Gohan. Gohan was like raised on horrible things.
Seriously,
just as much as future Trunks.
He watched a lot of death. He had a lot of stuff happen to him since the time he was like 4 years old.
That's why he has PTSD and he runs around in a superhero costume because of the Ginyu Force.
Yeah, gosh, that's so funny. I love it though.
So yeah, they go around. Goku decides, I got Vegeta, and Vegeta says no because he's still waiting on Bulma to give birth, and he suggests, well, ask your son. And Goku looks at Goten and Trunks who are sparring. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Oh,
I have another
son. Thanks for the hint, Vegeta.
God, he's such a bad dad all the time.
He's not a bad dad. He's just an idiot.
Well, it translates to being a bad dad.
So he goes to Gohan and asks him to join the tournament. Gohan says no, and then Goku's like, you don't understand.
He really manipulates him here. It was really gross. Like, he was very villainous in my opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I
don't think so at all. He explained to him the stakes. Gohan needed to know the stakes to do this, because at the end of the day, he's only joining that tournament to protect Videl and Pan. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason he's joining.
Yeah, it really is. But man, it's just shocking to see Goku be so careless. Like, he's being more careless than he's ever been
in this arc, as in general, or just that one decision about the tournament?
That one decision is just resonating with me really poorly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're 2 episodes in now. We'll see more. Goku's gonna take responsibility, and
yeah, I mean,
at the end of the day, he will be either him or Gohan. Probably Goku will be the one to take this home for Universe 7 and save the day.
It might be Gohan.
I don't think it will be.
I think Gohan's gonna get, he probably won't take it all, but I think he's gonna have a big part in this arc.
I think he will, but I don't think Ultimate Gohan's gonna do crap in a tournament like that.
You never know what could happen though. This has been such a transformation heavy series. Could be more.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I've seen so much of Gohan just kind of failing across the board.
How badass was he when he didn't fail? He was great.
Kind of.
The Cell Saga?
He failed.
Yeah, he failed, but he ended up winning. He effed up.
Failed.
He effed up for sure. But man,
which is what Goku did, but you're not.
He was a 9-year-old kid. Goku's almost 50.
Goku's also 9 years old, though.
Yeah, God. Gohan.
Gohan knew more at age 9 than Goku did at age 50 or 40 or 30 or 20.
I don't know, man. I think Gohan's a really cool character. That's my fanboyism. I really do hope.
He's a cool character, but at the end of the day, he's failed just as much, if not more, than Goku has.
Not in the naive, put the Earth in danger type sense, besides that one time when he was 9 years old.
And he lost against Super Buu.
Yeah, but that was his fault, for not being able to catch her.
He couldn't even catch a Potara. Right?
Yeah, that was bad. But that was writers' plot development. That wasn't him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they wrote that in knowing that we'd look at Gohan and be like, freaking Gohan, of course you would do that.
God, it's so sad. They make him such a joke sometimes.
So Gohan is convinced to join the tournament, and Goku chooses as his third fighter Buu.
Mm-hmm. Which is, in my opinion, not great.
Not the greatest option.
Take him to the 10 fighter thing, because, you need to fill spaces. But for this 3-1, find someone else.
Who else would you have picked, though?
Probably Piccolo.
Piccolo?
Yeah.
Who's much weaker than Majin Buu?
Piccolo's not weak right now.
He's not weak, but he's much weaker than Buu is.
But Buu is also an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, he was an idiot who straight up wrecked Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta.
Yeah, but he's not a fighter anymore. He doesn't seem like it, at least.
He will be. We saw him in the episode we just talked about trying to fight Beerus.
That was years ago, though.
Yeah. I mean, Boo doesn't really seem like anybody that would get weaker like Gohan does.
No, his energy is like, they even say it in Z, it's like...
It's a constant.
Yeah, it's almost infinite.
Yeah, so he seems to be, in my opinion, the best choice out of anybody you have left. Like, if I'm ranking them, I'm giving you Goku, Vegeta, 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, Gohan, Majin Buu. And then you would get
18, 17.
17, 18.
Well,
Piccolo 17 and 18.
Yeah.
And then your Earthlings. So.
Yeah, Piccolo would have been a good choice, though.
Yeah. We're going to get some cool matches with Piccolo,
Piccolo doesn't get anything. Like, he hasn't had anything in this entire series.
Well,
you taught them Mafuba on a video camera, and that's it.
Yeah, but he's also been left in the dust. I mean, he's kind of in that position that Yamcha and Tien are in.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. There's a chance for him to get stronger. They always write him in to be stronger.
They will. I don't think he's just going to get destroyed in the tournament.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's going to be a couple of weeks, if not months, before we find out anything.
This is going to be such a long arc.
It'll be good, though.
Yeah, I'm jacked.
Yeah, so Goku gathers his fighters. The only one he told about the universes being erased as punishment is Gohan, and they're keeping that on the DL because, in their opinion, all hell is going to break loose if...
Which makes sense, because there will be a lot of riots, it's across the entire universe.
Yeah, but you don't have to... in my opinion, you don't have to tell the whole universe. Just tell the people that you have fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will eventually. I don't think that's going to stay too big of a secret until... I think after this mini tournament, or mini match is over... Then
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure out how to start. I think they're gonna say something to Mr. Satan, and Mr. Satan's gonna kind of spill the beans a little bit.
It's gonna be weird. This is gonna be a really weird arc.
Yeah, it's already got a lot of. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation behind it already, and it's barely started.
Mm-hmm. We're 2 episodes in. They gather their team. They go to the.
They go to Zen.
They go to the. They go to the planet of the Kais.
Yeah.
And Hercule notes, I haven't been here in a while. We're here again.
Oh, man. I forgot. Yeah, I completely forgot. That's where they fought Boo for a minute.
Yeah. So they'll meet up there. They go to Zenosama's planet, universe, base, whatever, castle.
Zen.
They go to Zen. And they go inside. They meet up with the Grand Priest and the fighters in Kaioshin from Universe 9. And that Universe 9 Kaioshin is sinister as hell.
He looks like a meth head. He looks like he's jonesing for drugs all the time.
I just think he looks sinister.
But he just look like he's rubs his hands constantly like he's just a greedy guy. So it makes me look like
he's absolutely greedy.
But it makes me look like he's jonesing to get his hands on some heroin. Honestly.
Yeah, so from there the Grand Priest makes the...
But before that, we get to see their fighters, actually, and surprisingly, they're all the same race.
They're wolves.
3 wolves.
Well, they're brothers.
Oh, yeah, but, that's what the best your universe has to offer is just 3 of the same kind.
Well, that's probably why that universe isn't going to be sticking around very long.
Yeah, do you think that at the end of this match, they're actually going to destroy that universe?
No.
I think they might destroy those fighters.
The Kai might.
Yeah.
I think the Kai might... just to kind of give us a reason to hate him.
The Kai seems more sinister than the God of Destruction.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, it is, but at the same time, wouldn't you say Zamasu is more sinister than Beerus?
Yeah, in his own way. I mean, Zamasu's kind of like a strange character to diagnose because he just seems like a sociopath, kind of. He does things that he sees are right, not something malicious. You know what I mean? It turns out to be very disgusting what he does, but not in his own mind because he's a sociopath. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I wouldn't say he's more sinister. I just think he has a problem, like a mental health problem.
He's got some screwed up. He's got some screws loose up in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like you said, we meet the 3 from Universe 9, and then the Grand Priest. It's like, hey, going off of your martial arts tournament template or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and make an arena and some spectator seating, and we'll get this started. So a little portal opens up. They drop into this freshly made stage, which is your regular world tournaments.
Except it looks really expansive, and they actually mentioned that there's no time limit. You can use all the skills that you want, so there's no ring out, and it seems like it's gonna be fights at incapacitation at least, if not death.
Yeah. So we then get Goku's team and the other universe's team. They're just kind of sitting, and every god and every Kaioshin from all the other universes show up to watch the tournament.
And this is our first glimpse, besides some of the spoiler
the promo images
promos that we've gotten. This is where we get to see pretty much every single God of Destruction and Kai, and the Rangels, obviously.
Yeah.
And some of them are really cool looking. We've already discussed this. I like the elephant God of Destruction from.
I was gonna say some of them are cool and some of them are stupid.
I like the elephant one. I think it's funny because it's from Universe 10 with Gowasu.
Yeah, of course, it's Gowasu's.
Yeah. God, that universe is gonna be a joke.
Yeah. We get the Grand Priest explaining the rules, and
man, I wish it was the Grand Kai. That'd be sick.
Old Kai.
Man. That guy had the lead. Like, that was my favorite guy. And
I hate him so much.
He's such an idiot, but he's great.
Yeah, so you have the Grand Priest explaining the rules. The really shady-looking Kaioshin asks about if there's going to be a prize for this.
Yeah, well, he's rubbing his hands
for this
together.
Tournament or whatever. And the Grand Priest just goes, no, there's not going to be nothing.
But don't make it boring.
Yeah, don't make it boring because if that happens... Zeno-sama might not be happy, and they take that as he might erase us just because we're boring him. And when they say that, speaking of, Zeno-samas are here, and the two little adorable guys come down, and...
Nani? Oh, man, that's so good. I love those
they're
guys.
just talking about how they're excited, and Goku says a few words after being disrespectful to Champa. Not disrespectful, he says, hey Champa,
like, hey,
long time no
up,
see.
Yeah.
And since all the other gods and their Kaioshin don't know who Goku is and the relationship he has with everyone, they took that as, whoa,
this guy's crazy disrespectful. He's like, these
Universe
7 people are scum.
Yeah, Universe 7 is a bunch of scum.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to get very upset when Goku starts mopping the floor with all their fighters.
That, and I think a lot of these universes are gonna try and I feel like there's gonna be some sort of cheating going on towards Goku because they're all gonna be very upset with him.
Yeah. I mean, well, we have our own people in our own universe that are upset with him.
I can't imagine all these other people. In their eyes, Goku is the biggest villain in this entire arc.
This idiot just wanted to have a martial arts tournament. Now all of us are in danger because of it. So we get the rules explanation, and a walkthrough, I guess, of how things are going to go.
Yeah, because the future Zeno hasn't seen a martial arts tournament.
And that's the whole reason they're having it, is so he can see the tournament. We get the lineups, and they decide that Basil is going to be fighting first from Universe 9's team, who's kind of lanky-looking wolf, and Goku and Beerus kind of talk. They're like, okay, he doesn't seem like he's that much, so our plan is gonna work here. Go ahead and send Boo out, and Boo's sleeping.
Of course.
Mr. Satan wakes him up, gives him some candy, and tells him, I'll give you more candy if you go out and play with the big bad wolf out there. Boo jumps in, and they start the match. And the wolf Basil seems to be very adept at kicks, as Gohan says.
Yeah, he seems very fast, and even Zeno is like, wow, that's really fast. And even Goku's kind of impressed. He's like, yeah, he's pretty good, actually. So,
and Boo's just getting kicked all over the place, and that's kind of where we leave the episode, is Boo getting kicked around. He gets knocked down to the ground, and the wolf Basil is just like, this is the best you have from Universe 7. This is pathetic.
Yeah.
And Boo's just laying on the ground, and he just grins, and the episode ends. So next week something's going to happen where the tables get turned.
Yeah. So we go through and get to the next episode preview, which is just a preview of the fight. Honestly, there's nothing really more going on.
And the majority of it is Boo getting kicked around.
Yeah. So that leads me to believe that for a second, Boo's going to get his ass kicked, and then he's going to be like, this is boring, and he's just going to beat the hell out of that guy.
I think what's going to happen is Boo's just going to consider it playtime, and the wolf is going to say something really mean, and it's going to hurt Boo's feelings, and he's just going to destroy him.
Which is going to be tight.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
So it looks like we have 3 or 4 episodes of this mini tournament.
Which is nuts, because that's 4, and then we have so many universes. This could, I was saying, a 20 episode arc. it might be upwards of 30 episodes. This might be like a Frieza length arc.
I hope not.
It really might. They seem to be dragging. Like, the pacing isn't going very fast compared to all the other arcs that we've seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope that this is just
tired.
some exposition, and from here we get a little bit of a speed up.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that. It's just, it'd get too tiresome and too redundant to see the same thing over and over
100
again.
fighters.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, I think we'll just like have a couple matches here, and then all of a sudden we kind of skip forward to the next round of matches, and some fighters are already out. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So,
What do you see prediction wise? When Gohan fights, when Goku fights, how do you think those fights are going to turn out?
I think Boo's gonna win. I think Gohan is gonna lose, and that's gonna make him train more.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board
And
with
then
that.
Goku is gonna mop the floor with his guy, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like, we even get in the opening, Goku
Fighting the wolf.
beating the hell out of the wolf he has to fight.
Yeah.
So, and that's in his base form, so I can't see him losing. But I do, like you said, I do see Gohan losing as well, because he does need that extra kick in the ass to be able to unlock his fighting potential again.
Yeah, just get in shape. And Goku even said that when he asked him to fight. He goes, I know you haven't fought in a while, but I know you have it in you.
Yeah, you get your fighting form back in no time, and we both know how powerful you can be when you really, really need to.
Yeah. So it was a okay episode. I mean, it felt weird. It was like we got a...
It's just forcing me to hate Goku more and more, for me. I don't hate him, but like, it makes me not like him so much right now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
So,
but it's a cool territory where we haven't been.
yeah.
We've never been in a situation where Goku is entirely to blame.
Besides maybe when Frieza came back to Earth, but that was lasted one episode.
That's not really on Goku to blame. He blasted Frieza, and by all accounts, he thought he killed him.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
We're in a situation where Goku is legitimately at fault for all of this stuff. And while it is making some fans look at him like, dude,
What the
not
hell?
cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is new territory that we haven't been in before in the entire series.
So, yeah, it's not safe, which I do appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I dislike it. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, you got your hero, and
He's not the hero right now.
Yeah. Well, what was it? You either die your hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Oh, God. Thanks, Heath
Next
Ledger.
thing,
R.I.P., man.
next thing we know, Goku's gonna paint his face like the clown god of destruction.
That guy is super scary.
Yeah.
I want to know what that
We'll find
cloaked
out.
figure is so badly. You have no idea.
Yeah, we'll find out over the next couple weeks, I'm sure.
I want to know now.
I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I don't know, the last scene of last week's episode where Grand Priest explains the first half of the rules and then the second half felt like they could have just thrown that in the end of one episode.
That's why I'm saying the pacing is just bad right now. Like, it's just taking too long to get to where we need to go. And I don't want that. Like, they could have had the entire Boo fight done today.
They could have. Yeah, if they would have just kind of sandwiched that first scene into the back half of last week's episode,
And then just
we
done
probably could have gotten a full
We could have done
Boo
the
fight.
Gohan part right away.
Mhm.
And then...
Yeah, you would. This is what you would do. You would end last week's episode with Beerus telling Goku, "You need to take responsibility and gather your team."
Mhm.
And then Goku ends the episode with like, "Okay, who do I pick?"
And then-
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Then this week you grab Gohan, you grab Boo, and you go fight. And we're done with the Boo episode by now. And then next week we get to wait a whole week of just like, oh crap, Gohan gets to fight. Which, by the way, Gohan looks so stupid in his gi with
Why
the
is he wearing
glasses on.
glasses? Why is he wearing glasses? He has good eyesight. We know he does. He watches people fly at super speed. That guy has good eyesight.
Yeah.
Damn hipster.
Let's hope he takes his glasses off before his fight. I think he will, but
Yeah.
it just looks so dumb.
He looks like an idiot.
Yeah. But decent episode. Really pumped for next week. I hope it's just not an entire episode of Boo fighting. I want to see Gohan.
I think how it's going to go, it'll be like 3/4 of the way through the Boo fight will end, then
And
Gohan
there's
will
a setup for a
Gohan
Gohan
will
fight.
start, and then it'll go just in that same category, and then Gohan will lose like halfway through next week. Or not next week, the week after, sorry.
Yeah. It's
just like a wonky way to pace it. I don't know. It could be done a lot cleaner.
It could be done a lot cleaner. We do have a new director for this arc, so they might just be kind of
They're just kind of toying with it right now, which makes sense. Kind of,
getting their feet wet.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's it for this week's episode.
Mhm.
Be sure to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to us, and share the show with your friends or on social media. Speaking of social media, you can connect with us on Twitter at Universe7Pod. Find us on Facebook and just search for Universe 7 Podcast and give us a like. Or send us an email at universe7pod@gmail.com. We will be back next week to talk episodes 7 and 79. It's going to be a lot of fun, so we hope you'll join us. Have a great week. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time,
Adios.